there were two close teams, right? And the odds were like maybe, minus 110. And the program was very, very, very certain that one team would prevail over the other. It's good odds and high certainty. That's the recipe for like a 3, 4, 5 star pick there.
Gotcha. Okay. My name is Ken with Picking Duck. Thank you guys for joining us. Today, I have something special for you guys. I'm going to be sharing a guy that I met on Instagram. He's got some great picks. I've been following along with it, and he gives them out for free. I don't know what he's going to be doing moving towards the future, but his name is Xavian, right?
Yeah,
Xavian?
it's Xavier.
Yeah, and he's at XS Locks on Instagram. I found Xavian and I saw his picks, and he's giving them out for free. And he's doing something different. He uses AI, he uses computers. I want him to share with you guys some of the things that he's able to do with the computers he's using to generate some plays. And let's hear all about how he does it. So, first of all, Xavian, how did you get started in sports betting?
So I got started in sports betting. I had when I was in high school, I had a lot of older friends who like bet online on sports, and I've always been real big into sports. I played sports all throughout high school. I try to watch as much as I can. I love it. So I don't know. I just naturally just got interested in the betting part of it, and plus I'm a big numbers guy. I love statistics. I love like odds and all of that. So it was just a perfect hobby for me.
You started in high school, but how old are you now? I mean, you look like you could still be in high school, brother.
Yeah, I'm only 20. Actually turned 21 next weekend. So it's just yeah, still fairly young.
He- he's a sports better, but he's still under 21. Now that's same with us, man. There's so many people that got started when they're younger, but like you've been doing sports betting not for too long, but man, you're already pushing out something ahead of what other people are doing. So that's pretty cool. So
Thank
you
you.
said you're into sports. What kind of sports do you play?
I usually play basketball and soccer, mostly just in high school.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, are those the games that you really love to cap since you played those, or?
Yeah, I like the cap soccer a lot more. I don't know. I feel like it's a lot easier to like I guess with the low scoring, it's less up to chance, whereas like, in like NBA or maybe like football where it's a lot higher volume scoring. I don't know. I think I have a
Okay.
better read for soccer.
Since you've been betting in high school, I mean, how did you do it back then in high school versus like what you're doing now?
Well, back then, I was under 18. Actually, in Canada, it's 18, the age to
Oh, it
like
is.
do
Oh,
sports. But yeah,
y'all
so
wild
so
in Canada.
yeah, so back then it was mostly I'd make like I'd bet against my friend like, oh, the Raptors, they're losing to the Pacers tonight, whatever, put five on it. Like it was nothing ever more than that. Sometimes I'd like to, look at the lines maybe and I'd talk about it with my friends, like, oh, there's, no way the Hornets are gonna win by five. That's just ridiculous, whatever. It's just a lot of like less actual placing money on it and more just like, you know, talking about it with friends and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I mean, but basically you just went off the top of your head, just be
Pretty
like,
much, yeah. Like it was I didn't do like research. It was all, in like whatever my gut told me.
yeah, yeah.
So there
Okay.
was, you know, wouldn't look at standings or look at like any stats. It'd just be like, based on what I see from watching.
Now what you're doing is computer generated, right?
Yes.
Okay, so first of all, I mean, how did you go from this high school kid that's playing sports, all of a sudden you're only 20 and now you're doing computer whiz kid type picks? Like how do you do that?
Yeah, well, first, I'm right now. I'm in university. I'm studying computer engineering right now.
Okay, I'm an
So,
engineer myself. There you go.
nice, nice.
And that's actually what drew me to sports betting as well because of the numbers. So,
Hmm.
but go on, tell me more.
Yeah, so programming's something I've been doing for a couple years now. I don't know, I started when I was like 14, so I've got a little bit of experience now. Yeah, like I said, I've always liked numbers, so back in actually started making the program back in earlier this year, like or last year, right now in 2020, around like January, February, as just like a statistical model to like predict NBA games. So I started it there, and unfortunately, like when coronavirus hit and all the sports leagues shut down, I kind of had to put a hold on that. Then afterwards, when soccer was slowly starting to come back in Europe, like throughout the summer, I was like, hey, why not, try to apply this model to soccer? And I started slowly working on soccer, and soccer was going very well for like the few games that were happening. So I got really excited, and I was like, you know what? Like, let's see if I can generate like picks off of this. At
Okay.
first, it was just like, look at the schedule. This team's playing this team. Who is gonna win? And then I was like, maybe I could translate this into betting picks. So I started like using the lines and seeing like what's a good pick versus what's not a good pick for like, for example, for like the value and like things like that. So it slowly transformed from just like which NBA team are gonna, win to like actual sports picks, like to how they're now kind of.
So when you say who is actually going to win, I mean, because like there's a lot of like big money line spread there, right? So
Mhm.
you're talking like, I mean, if a team was like minus 700, yeah, most likely they're going to win, right? So that's
Exactly.
what you were looking at first. And then now you're started to take into account those values there.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, what it really inspired me is I don't know if you know about 538. They a lot of like mathematical models for sports. In specific, the one I really like is their NBA one. They rank teams based on an ELO system.
Okay.
So each team has a ranking, and on their website they constantly have like each team's like mathematically predicted like chances of going to the playoffs or chances of making it to the finals or this. So that's what really got me interested at first. And I was reading up on the ELO model, and it just was something that I was kind of like, I don't, it just didn't make sense to me. Like I was like, why would you put this model for the NBA? Like it didn't make sense to me. I mean, they know way more than me, so I'm sure like theirs is better, but
So what you're saying is what they did, you weren't feeling it? Is that what it was?
exactly. I was like, I feel like you could do this in a much better way almost. And I was like, well, I can give it a shot. Like I've got some time on my hands right now. I might as well see if I can. It was
Well,
more
that's
just,
really
yeah,
interesting. I mean, because you said that you were a programmer,
yeah,
but then now you've gone into something more of like statistics. So,
yes.
how did you make that transition there? Because programming is not statistics.
It's not, yeah. I got into the statistics because, well, statistics is something I really like. If I actually try to get a minor in statistics,
Uh huh.
but I can't do it at my school, so it sucks kind of. But I do, in the higher math classes, you do end up learning a lot of statistics, and there are like some engineering statistic courses that you have to take.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
as I've been taking those, I've been like, oh, maybe I should learn more about this, and yeah, I've downloaded some like statistics textbooks online and like read through like some relevant questions to like try and make my program as like mathematically and statistically sound as possible.
I gotcha. Have you been to the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference?
I haven't, no.
I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's all about statistics, analytics in sports betting. I'm not fully statistically inclined like you are, so I don't know if it's the right place for me to go attend because all that stuff can go over my head. I just need some plays. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, but let's move on. So, do you follow other sports betters or like? Do you look at other models or did you just come up with your own model and start plugging shit in?
Well, at the start, I basically just my own model, but as I've progressed, as I've worked on getting it better, I've done a lot more research into other people's like successful like models and stuff. So I've recently been doing a lot more research on just like some, very common sports betting models, or like some sports betting trends that a lot of people like, everyone always says like, oh, like fade to public, it always works. I've been doing a lot more like that type of stuff. Like I haven't been into sports betting culture for super long, so those things were still new to me. I first started with the model myself, and then as I've been getting more into the sports betting world, I've picked up like I've been looking at models from other people and things like that.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting. So that's how your model is progressing then.
Yes.
So I mean, like, how does one start with a model? I mean, like with data, like what are you doing? Are you like plugging in like past data for like 3 years or what is it?
I try to go far enough back depending on the sport. Like for example, the NBA, I think I have up till I think starting from 2002 onwards, I have like the stats for like I think every game played, like which team wins, which team doesn't, home, away, you know, points per game, rebounds per game, all of the stats local, yeah, local database. And depending on the sport, I can choose like how far I go back. For example, in college basketball, it wouldn't make much sense to go like 10 years back, in my opinion, because, the rosters change so frequently. One team that's great one year can be awful the next year. So, whereas like, in sports. So, I, uh, I actually, that's something I tweak with a lot in my algorithms. So, I usually adjust how far back I consider data to be relevant.
How did you obtain all that? Because sometimes that stuff costs money.
I got it through web scraping. Half my program that I wrote is half of it is web scraping, like getting data online, getting like stats and lines via the web, and the other half is like the algorithms that produce the picks. So as much time I spent like working on the algorithms, I also spend a lot of time on working
Scraping.
on my web scraping tools. Yeah, which is it's a pain. It's not very interesting, but
Yeah,
it's
that's
either that or I pay. Yeah, because data sets online cost a fortune, which
yeah,
I'm a college student. I can't afford not even close
right.
to what they're asking for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I totally get it because yeah, data you got to pay for that. The only way to get it is to scrape it. So, I'm
yeah.
familiar with that.
Mhm.
So, speaking of which, you're a college student. So, do you bet your own plays or what's the deal there? And do you give them out to your friends, and are they betting it? What's the deal?
I don't bet every single play that comes out of the program. Most of my followers actually only bet 3 stars and up. What I like to do is I like to look at what the program puts out for the day, and
Hmm.
then based on that, like combining that with what I think,
Hmm.
like my like gut feelings and my like intuition or whatever,
Hmm.
um, I use that and make like maybe like one or two parlays with like two or three picks in them. That's usually how I bet my picks. If I had more money on, I would love to be able to like bet like per unit the parlays are here and there, but I'm making steady profits, so maybe eventually I'll be able to start upping yeah.
I hear you. Everybody with betting starts somewhere, you know what I mean? So it
Mhm.
doesn't matter how much
Yeah.
you put down. So, but speaking of the stars, I know you got 3 stars, 2 stars, 1 star. So how does your computer spit out, hey, this is a 3 star versus a 1 star?
The more stars there are, it's um more certain it is crossed with the value of the pick. So for example, it can be like, it could have been like the Los Angeles Lakers versus I don't know who's the worst team. The Pistons, I don't know. Like of course the Lakers are gonna win, but let's say the money line odds are probably like minus 10,000 for the Lakers, right? So even though it's very, very certain, the value is really low. So it wouldn't get like a high star pick. I'll probably just get zero
Ah,
stars as the pick.
okay,
Whereas
gotcha.
if let's say there were two close teams, right, and the odds were like maybe minus 110, and the program was very, very, very certain that one team would prevail over the other, it's good odds and high certainty. That's the recipe for like a 3, 4, 5 star pick there.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I mean, how do you play in Canada? Are you playing with a bookie or you go to a casino or?
I play through Bet365 actually is what I use the most. They have great lines for. I love that they have great lines for soccer because if a team goes up 2 goals, it counts as a win, even though if they end up losing the game. So, which yeah, it's great. It happened. I think 2 days ago. Bayern were up 2-0, and they ended up losing 3-2. But still cashed out. Like they gave me a win on that.
Wow. Yeah, I saw that. And I saw that you gave
Yeah.
out that play. That's crazy.
Mhm.
So what's your plans with your system for the future?
Right now it's just a hobby, but honestly, I've been gaining a lot of traction. Like it seems like it's been really popular on, you know, blew my expectations out of the water. I mean, like, I know I just hit like 1,000 followers the other day, which I mean, it's not like a whole lot, but
Congrats.
I didn't thank you on that. I didn't think I'd even come close to that ever. Um, so yeah, for the future, I just want to keep working on it and making it more like precise. I really want to work on like making it more robust. Like a lot of the time, like the web scrapers fail, or like one of the algorithms like it throws an error, something I gotta manually input data. So I want to make it more robust to the point where, it's literally just click at a button and then all the picks generated like without any issue, and like click of a button and the whole graphic is generated. I just want to make it as automated as possible
Gotcha.
to really make it like, yeah, like no intervention by me. I'd like trying to make it just work.
I hear you, dude. Well, you know what?
Hmm.
I appreciate your time, guys. This was Xavian with XS Locks. Go follow him. He's got some good plays, as you heard it. He's working on his computer generated picks. It's a hobby for him right now, but and he's giving out his plays for free. And I've followed it, and he's doing well. And you heard it. His following is growing. It's doing better than he expected. So go check him out, guys. That's XS Locks. And I appreciate your time, Savian. Thanks a lot, brother.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys.